Hoi, happy 2016! This video was definitely not filmed in advance. As is tradition on my channel every year, I look back at the 10 resolutions I made at the beginning of the year, see how I did, and then make some new ones. So these were my 10 resolutions for 2015. Some of them I absolutely forgot about, but not number one, which was read 50 books in a year, and I did it. You can look at all the books that I read this year on my Goodreads page, which I will link in the description. I feel like one book a week is a good goal to aim for. Sometimes I use graphic novels and poetry to catch up, sometimes I don't, but I really like it as a general reading goal. Next, I wanted to read 5 books that have been translated from Dutch. I don't think I read a single one, but more on that later. 3, I wanted to finish my Shakespeare project, so I had to read 10 Shakespeare plays in a year and go see a show at the Globe. I read one, which was Much Ado About Nothing. I also did a video about it with Livs, and I actually went to see 2 Shakespeare plays at the Globe. I saw As You Like It and Much Ado About Nothing. So although this one is not a full success, I definitely tried. Number 4 was get down to owning 250 books. It's mostly because Rosianna was clearing out her book collection and I thought I really wanted to do that. I have definitely gone up this year in books. Working at a publisher obviously doesn't help, but I do very frequently clear out my books and bring a lot of them to the charity shop, and I think that that will be the way that I'm going to continue. Number 5, I wanted to translate 1 book from Dutch to English. I didn't really get to that at all, but again, more on that later. The next one is an example of a goal I'm going to drop for next year, and it is complete the Duolingo French course. I did a little bit in the beginning of the year, and I think towards the middle of the year I started realizing that this is just not a goal that is very high on my list of priorities. There are a lot of other things that I think would be a lot more useful for me to do that I want to put on the list. Number 7, I wanted to finish a lot of my travel guides on my blog and sort of blog about London and traveling every week. Didn't do that one either. Then I wanted to do 10 things from Tired of London, Tired of Life, which is like a guidebook that shows you 1 cool thing to do in London every day and document them. I did not get around to that, but that one is moving on to this year as well. Number 9 was to switch completely to cruelty-free makeup and skincare, which is part of the channel that I do with Marion, which is called Durpina Mode. We talk about cruelty-free beauty. I have made loads and loads of steps in the direction, and everything I buy now is cruelty-free. I'm obviously still using up the old products, which I thought was only going to take a year, but is probably going to take a couple of years. But everything I buy now, makeup-wise or skincare-wise, is cruelty-free. So I feel like it's become very easy. And also this year, I actually stopped eating gelatin. I was raised vegetarian, and we usually just ate sweets and stuff in the family, so it was never a thing that I really considered. And then once I made the switch in mindset, I was like, no, I don't really want to eat this anymore. So that is the thing that I've changed as well. And then finally, the bonus one is to learn Morse code and the radio alphabet, and I didn't do any of those. Now, the fact that I haven't done all of them doesn't mean that my year is a failure. I set these goals because I really like lists and I really like having something to aim for, and even if I do a little bit of it, that is alright with me. Now, with that being said, we're gonna move on to 2016 resolutions. Some of them will be the same, some of them will be entirely different, but as usual, we're starting off with number 1, read 50 books in a year. Number 2 is to do with reading as well, and it is to read at least 10 books by BAME authors, which in case you don't know means Black, Asian, and minority ethnic authors. Publishing has quite a big diversity problem, and I'm aware that I read quite a lot of white authors, but I do own a lot of books by BAME authors, so basically I want to focus on reading a selection of those this year. And then a repeat from last year, number 3, I want to read 5 books that have been translated from Dutch to English, by which I mean I want to read the original in Dutch and then read the English translation. Number 4, I've made one of the goals slightly more attainable. Instead of translating a whole book from Dutch to English, I want to translate a full chapter. That seems like it would be more doable. Then another repeat from last year, I want to do 10 things from Tired of London, Tired of Life, because I just want to do more videos about London. I know you guys really enjoy it, so that seems like a good one to add to the list. Number 6, I want to do 1 travel video every month. I have a bunch of hard drives filled with footage, so if I just get my button gear, that shouldn't be a problem. Number 7, I want to step up my animation game. I really want to learn how to use After Effects, because I feel like I've got the video editing down for the most part, but I'd like to do something a little bit more flashy. Number 8 is own less stuff. I do think I own too much stuff, so over time I want to try try and get rid of some. Number 9 is go into nature more. I want to go to the park, I want to go for a walk, I want to go into the countryside. And number 10 is the bonus one, which is learn Morse code and the radio alphabet. Still convinced the apocalypse will happen at some point, still convinced that this will come in handy. So those were my resolutions. Of course, I'd love to hear in the comments if you had any resolutions, how you did, and if you're making some for the new year. I'm going to try and work hard to stick to these, and I think 2016 is going to be a pretty good year. I will talk to you guys later. Doei!